Welcome back to GTM. So today I have another blade from Bear Force Knives. Bear Force Knives is a USA company. Garrett over there and I, full disclosure, have a little bit of a connection. He throws me some blades to review from time to time, and then sometimes I send them to other people to review as well. And so you might see them on another channel somewhere else. But today I have the GT EDC, and that Kydex sheath that you're checking out right there, that is something that Garrett also makes. Here's how I chose to carry it. Now it's got a kind of a loop on it. You could go ahead and throw a metal clip on it, an ulti clip, something like that, but this is how I chose to carry it, just in the factory configuration. Snaps in and out really well. Garrett does very well with Kydex. I've said in other videos that I used to work with some Kydex and do my own, and honestly guys, he does a much better job. The fit and finish is just superior. Burnished edges, very smooth, comfortable. You know, for an EDC sheath, I had expected to be very smooth and comfortable, and this one definitely didn't disappoint. Very high quality, nice thumb ramp, good quality hardware. Everything about it is exactly what I like to see. No rattle whatsoever, and it's not finicky for going in and out. It fits perfectly. So there's a good shot of it. That's the GT EDC. Now it kind of reminds me of some other blades that I've done for a review for Garrett, like this one right here. And then I did maybe a couple other ones. Let's see, I did the simple knife prototype, really like that blade as well. And then I recently did the Necker, and I'm in the process of reviewing this other GT. This is one that's discontinued, but it's a personal model. I really like it. And today's model, this one right here, the reason that it kind of stuck out to me is the handle design is not like anything else that I have. It's unique to all the blades that I own. I also don't have very many clips, and the type of grind as well, this is a saber grind. I don't have a lot of experience in blades just like this. And so just looking over the handle specs, the material specs, you know, it is a 1095 blade. I pretty much know that I always like 1095 blades, but being that it is a clip, you know, a very pronounced clip blade, it's a little unique to a lot of the things that I've tried on the channel. And so I thought, yeah, I want to give this a try and see what I think of it. And it's been really fun to mess around with it. I like the idea of EDCing a fixed blade, and I have from time to time done it. In fact, I'm doing it with one of Garrett's other blades right now. There's a really nice shot of his logo. I think Garrett's got one of the coolest logos. Bear Force Knives is a really cool idea. If you care about aesthetics, he's always got a unique place where he likes to put those logos in. And then, of course, it is proudly marked USA. Nowadays, I feel more and more strongly about that than I ever have before. So, as I mentioned before, it is a clip point, but it's a sturdy clip point, guys. This isn't a fragile or overly thin clip. I'm going to show you a little bit of that in a little bit, but it's a nice, strong one. Quite pronounced, though, and so if you're into clip blades, you like that design, or almost like buoy blades, this one definitely has it. You know, just because it's a 4-inch blade doesn't mean that it's not usable for opening boxes. You can always make a big blade shorter by just pinching up on the grip and finding ways to use it like that. And a clip blade is going to be really, really good for things just like this. It's exactly the kind of tip that you would want. So I don't have to say too much here, but you can tell it's sliding through this, I think this is double thick cardboard, it's sliding through it with ease, you know, and with 1095, easy to sharpen up again. I have not actually had to do that since I started the review, even though I did dull it down. I felt some dull parts, but with a full 4-inch blade, you have a lot left over there to use over, if you dull certain portions anyways. So tip, working on the tip here a little bit, and it's a really strong tip. You know, a lot of blades I would not do this, and I'm really cranking on it. I don't know if I can get a good angle here for you guys, but I'm actually leveraging that oak, that's hard oak, pretty difficult. And here, testing out the tip itself, kind of beating on it, and then prying with it, which I don't necessarily recommend with a lot of blades. You know, especially just the fact that you're using a clip point, and it's not as meaty as some other ones, but this one is plenty meaty enough to do, you know, like an average amount. Just the stuff I'm doing here. I'm not going crazy with it. I'm not taking a huge risk. I'm not trying to break it. I'm just prying with it a little tiny bit, as I would maybe in wood or making a bow drill. I can't think of too many prying tasks that I would ever recommend a knife for, but I just mostly want to show the durability of the blade. And yeah, it did great. No, this is not a chopper, and I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know how you ever would try to chop with something like this. Not enough weight behind it, not the right kind of handle. Even with a lanyard, no, not a chopper. again, being an EDC blade, I do want it to be able to slice well. Now, I've beat up on this blade. I used it a lot. I cut a lot of materials with it, including hard plastic at times, a tiny bit of wire, like really thin wire. I can't remember how many boxes I broke down with this, but quite a bit, and there's still an edge that is workable there, so that's a good sign. Again, kind of a bow drill divot here, just working on that, kind of seeing how it still works after all that use, and not just what you saw on camera, guys. I know that's usually the predicted thing, is that it's just what you see on camera, but that's not the case. I carry these around, I use them a lot, and then I do a little bit of recording with the camera work. That's the least of the use the knife ever sees. And that's pretty much true for anything I review on my channel. It's going to get a lot of use off camera and then a little bit of use on camera. I don't have time to be filming myself all the time with these products, and so yeah, it's actually still holding edge decently enough to go ahead and put a bow drill divot in and then dig out a little bit of an ember catch there. Now when it comes to different kinds of grinds, I usually don't have issue. I just have to learn it a little bit before I can make feather sticks, but this type of grind right here with a little bit of V at the end, it actually is really conducive to making these kind of barrels with many turns and curls in there. And yes, they catch a flame or a spark from a fire steel very easily. And man, if you're going to use this outside, you know what? It's actually capable. I prefer a bigger handle most of the time, but this is called the EDC blade, and so it's not trying to be a bushcraft knife only. It's not trying to be a kitchen knife only, although I did use it in the kitchen, and it does send lots of, a big shower of sparks, but I wanted to mess around with it a little bit in most of the casual ways that I use a knife, and sometimes that might be making a tent peg, steak, or just a little bit of whittling with some friends around a campfire. And if I'm going to EDC a blade, I want it to at least be capable. And yes, this blade is absolutely capable. It really didn't hold me back too much, even though it's not a Scandi. So not really a chest lever. That was more like a ribs lever right there, but did just fine. Whatever material you're going to work with, having right around 4 inches to work with is really handy. And that's the really nice thing about having this, but it's the handle as well. Normally with a folding knife, you just have an inferior handle, just the gap where your blade has to fit in. It's not very comfortable. And this handle, I'm going to talk more about it in a little bit, but having a full handle and a full blade that has a reasonable thickness, and then also just that really strong connection, because there's no lockup. It is just a fixed blade. A lot more confidence in there, and so whatever you're doing, you're going to be able to get a lot more control on that blade, and you can just kind of grab it differently than you would with a folding knife, I find. I like it. And that thick spine, I know it's a little thicker than the simple prototype I did, but this one is just more comfortable to press into because of that thickness. Now, after I doled this blade out, pretty well, I've doled it out pretty well. I went and tried to cup some zip ties again, and so that's something I repeatedly did just to see how it would do, and I did find a dull spot in there right on the belly, which was the place I used the most. But like I said, having 4 inches of blade, there's still plenty to work with there, still slices through material actually reasonably well. Just pretty happy with it. That's one of the benefits of having that big belly on that design, is there's still just the ability to find a sharp spot in there. Even though I didn't touch it up, I didn't sharpen it, I didn't hone it, nothing. From day one, from when I got it, I just kept using it, so not bad at all. Now, you can see me testing up there a little bit, and right there by my thumb, that's about where it got dull. Alright, so I want to finish up by just giving you a few thoughts on the handle design. Again, this is listed as the GT EDC, and so for an EDC blade, it's not going to have a huge fat, round handle as some of his other designs are. It's not going to be just like the other GT I have here with big, thick blade stock. It needs to be a little slicey, a little strong, and then comfortable, and then hopefully flat enough that it fits against your body in whatever carrying condition you choose to go, whether that's scout or in the front like I carry. And as you can see right here, it is pretty much in that profile. Now, nothing on that handle is uncomfortable. Nothing is flat. It doesn't have flat scales. They are rounded and contoured, but they're not big, thick, fat scales where an EDC blade would pop out too much. And even with my XL size hands, if I can just show you, plenty of length in there, guys. That's going to be the majority of the issue, is how much length is there to get a good grasp onto. And it's very comfortable for that. With EDC things, I don't think of using it for a very, very long time. And for me, I didn't have any issues with it. It's very smooth and contoured. One of the things about this is it doesn't have any spot where it doesn't match up. And I mean like where the pins are, where the tang of the knife is, nothing pops out. And even the ends of the scales are rounded from end to end. They're rounded and they're quite comfortable. And I think that's something that he's doing really well, is it's a great, comfortable blade. Overall, I think I can go ahead and say this is a great deal at $150. You can go over and check out the website. That's bearforestknives.com. Go ahead and comment down below if you've had one or if you have questions. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.